What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Greetings, everybody. I'm your host, Love Coach Scott Katamas, and a very happy and beautiful Sacred Sunday to each and every one of you. I want to welcome all of our friends that are in our Zoom room, and you know what to do. Let us know where you are coming from geographically, because our guests are coming from Ecuador, and I know Dorina is in Ecuador as well, but it's fun to see all the places people are coming from. I also want to welcome those of you who are watching on YouTube or on Facebook and invite you to come on into the Zoom room. We're going to want to interact directly with our beautiful guests today, and it's easier for you in our Zoom room. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com and register. And I want to welcome all the people that are watching on Sri and Kira's YouTube channel. We're merging our Global Peace Tribe group with the Sri and Kira group, and so it's a really fun collaboration today. Sri and Kira are our guests, and we're going to hear from them in a moment. I'm going to put the spotlight on them briefly. And welcome, beautiful, beautiful people from Ecuador. It's so good to see both of you. And for our friends who don't know who Sri and Kira are, let me just tell you briefly, because, and something that Sri and Kira don't know is that this weekend, we actually created the theme of unsung heroes, creating the new paradigm. And so we've been highlighting people like yourselves who are truly changing the world. So welcome. Thank you so much for being unsung heroes, creating the new paradigm. And for our friends that don't know you, Sri and Kira live and share the energy of naked authenticity. It's the gift of universal spirituality. The yoga of self-ascension is their non-dogmatic pathway, paved with peace, love, and joy, opening the doorway of enlightenment as the divine recognition that all beings carry the full nature of the sacred inside themselves. This is what Sri and Kira live and teach. And thus, blessing ignites an alchemical process of the law of instantaneous manifestation. And we're going to learn about that from them today. Wisdom teacher Sri Ram Kaur is a gifted psychotherapist, skilled medical intuitive, and a master Avesa quantum healer. Master Lady Kira Ra was born highly clairvoyant and declared clinically dead of cancer way back in 1989. Formerly, she was a $1 million executive, but now she is widely acclaimed as the most profound archangel oracle of our time. She's also called forward the original system of numerology, which has been widely published. So it's an incredible honor to have Shri and Kira with us. We're going to spend our entire Sacred Sunday morning with them. But as always, we like to start with a little bit of music. So we're going to go to our beautiful beloved brother Omashar for an opening song, and then back to Shri and Kira for today's opening meditation. Hello, beloved brother.
Good morning and namaste, and Sri and Kira, lovely to have you with us. And I was in Ecuador over a decade ago, but I deeply love Ecuador and Choclo, and so right, I miss it.
Blessings, thank you.
So I'm going to play a gentle song called Breathe Me In, and it's about when you're feeling out of touch, breathe in the divine consciousness and spirit that we are. So I'm just going to do that without any further ado, hopefully. Oh, there we go. Click. When there's nowhere left to turn, and you're feeling kind of low, slow down, and breathe me in. When the smile has left your face, and the tears roll down your cheeks, slow down, and breathe me in. When your river's running dry, and you're driven to your knees, slow down, and breathe me in. I am watching you, waiting for you to let my love into that lonely life of yours.
absolutely the perfect song to begin with today. Thank you so much, beautiful, beloved Brother Omashar, and we'll hear from Omashar towards the end of the show again. Thank you so much, my friend.
Namaste.
Namaste.
I do want us to really slow down because we are so blessed to have two of the highest vibration beings that I've had the honor to meet with us today, I should say, coming all the way from Ecuador. So let's really breathe in their wisdom, their vibration. And it's just such an honor to have Sri and Kira with us. Welcome, beautiful people. Hello.
Oh, first and foremost, thank you for the blessing of this mirror and the music. I'm still there. Slow down and breathe me in. What a blessing. What a true blessing. So just thank you, my love. I'm so grateful that you're back here to receive this, in person right now. As you were playing your music, Sri and I were just so moved on so many different levels. So
I felt this. Thank you so much. Gratitude.
Yeah. We're so grateful. We're so grateful. And Scott, the opening credits for your show, also equally. I mean, to bring this beautiful community together every week in the essence of that energy, I just bow before you and say thank you.
Yes.
Because sincerely, this is the moment we are all in, is it not? This is that moment where we are coming together. I am here as the sea of neutrality, aware and filled with the blessing that all have the right to be. And that through that gift, we are able and free to slow down and breathe me in. And so my heart is already singing with the synergies. And of course, welcome to our little Violet Ray Shiva temple here at Tosa Blue Mountain in Ecuador, our little 200-year-old walls and all the fun that goes with having restored a very old hacienda here in the Andes Mountains.
Well, I would love to continue this slowing down process. Would you be willing to lead our opening meditation today?
I'm going to let my beautiful husband do that.
Yes, it would be a beautiful connection and an honor. So in the spirit of our unity together, if it's safe to do so, I invite you to close your eyes and bring a hand to your heart. Be present to your breath. This is part of the intention to slow down and be and breathe. I invite you now to notice on the inhale all that is beautiful and loving, to see, feel, and know the divine energy. We refer to that as Ave, as in hail to the divine. So inhaling Ave energy. And exhaling with a sigh. Sigh. Let's practice that again together. Inhaling Ave. All resistance melting away. Beloved ones, continue that at your own pace and in your own manner. Trust yourselves. And with soft eyes, breathing in the divine energy and releasing all resistance or need to control. Feel your hearts. Feel the breath expand your heart center. The peace that arises naturally as we consciously breathe is a reminder that we are the oasis of divine love. Breathing in, releasing easily, feeling the peace. I invite you to think along with me and declare quietly to yourselves, I am peace. I am peace. Allow the truth of that awakening to expand throughout your being and radiate outward. I am love. I am love. Feeling the radiation of boundless peace and love as an ocean of divine energy. Breathing in, I am joy. I am joy. Feeling the ignition of joy, dancing on the stability of peace and love. You might let a smile come to your face and just notice. I invite you now to call this energy upward, to send it up into the center of your head, to nourish and ignite the upper chakras. You might even want to look upwards, and on the next breath, send the energy out the top of your head, connecting with the divine. Feel that area above your head. You are connected to an infinite supply of love and light. Be present. Smile. Trust. And as we now have our hearts stabilized and the upper chakras are open, I invite you to reaffirm your energy to the upper, above the head, and repeat after me quietly, inwardly, the mantra of self-ascension, and discover the connection that it offers to your consciousness. Breathing in, I am here. I am ready. I am open. Guide me. And we allow the energy of guide me to be the humble recognition that the divine is here and all is truly well. And so it is. Taking a moment to integrate this energy throughout every layer of your being. As you're ready, allow your eyes to open. Smile. Offer a hug to your neighbor if you've got one nearby. And if not, you are huggable and huggy.
And being hugged.
Thank you,
Yeah,
beloveds.
hi,
Thank you so
everybody.
much.
Wow, that was just beautiful. Your voice is so just relaxing. how blessed you are to have that voice in your ear. Yeah, yeah, that must be lovely. I also really am a big believer in I am affirmations. As a coach, that's what I give to my clients and my friends. And since you are also clearly work with I am affirmations, I'd love for you to share with our audience the power of the I am and why an I am affirmation has such a profound opportunity to raise our consciousness and to truly create an empowered understanding and an empowered action. Yeah.
Well, first and foremost, what a perfect place to start, right? At this moment of, as we each gaze, and, I encourage all of you that are here in the Zoom room, and if you're not in the Zoom room, really, as Scott instructed, get in, because getting to see everyone is part of the blessing. And I am as you are. And so really breathe that in, begin there. When we bring our hands to our heart, when we offer that affirmation, when it comes right into the presence of this form and this extraordinary potentiality of consciousness to arise into the moment of recognition of that which I am, is the moment when we become the ascended presence of the master in form. Many view ascension as something that happens when you die, or something that's going to happen in some other shape and form at some other time. The gift and the blessing, and especially of this moment, Scott, that we came together today is just so extraordinarily, divinely beyond all of us. Because in this moment right now, in this very moment, we are as I am. And you, my beloved angel, have the courage and the integrity to be the first being in all of the energy of all of this North American experience of upliftment. You, my love, are carrying the greatest integrity of all. And I just want to bow before that. To lead with I am is to witness the witnesser, witnessing, to arise through the density consciousness that would seek to stop you from remembering your multidimensional presence right now. This is the moment we are in collectively. Shri and I last year started up-leveling all of the original I am discourses at the behest of the Saint Germain itself, because we are at a moment where consciousness with every breath, and every one of you that I'm so excited to be looking at, like, God, you're so amazingly beautiful, right? And so with every breath right now, your consciousness is expanding beyond where it has ever been before. So as you relax into that, right? As we slow down, and I love this synergy, right? As we call that in, you're inviting the brain, which is really nothing more than the sum total of the ego presence, to, for once in its life, lay down its arms and perhaps trust you. You. I am as you are. That still voice inside of you right now is the cutting edge of consciousness. And that voice is still afraid of itself. It is the expansion, the experience, and the living presence of I am. The manifestation of the law of instantaneous manifestation. And Scott, I would be so bold as to jump in and share that as you've brought this forward. As you are, and thank you for being here with us, please. As you are, and I am. In this moment, it is service, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So when we all come together without ulterior motive, that's the essence of global Minga. And that's the moment where consciousness expands and all of the old releases its egocentricity and says, wow, look at this transformative nature. And as we come together in this experience, the miracles manifest with instantaneous rapidity. And it really does bring us right to what happened here yesterday with the Pyramid of Peace. Because 5 months ago, this was just a blush of, can we really do this? And should we do this? And the universe is saying, do this. And here we are today. And just yesterday, before we got on with you today, what will be the foundation of the capstone was hand hauled up 22 meters. We live broadcasted on Facebook, and people cried. All these indigenous tribes cried together. I had a man in my arms saying, I have spent 36 years building things, and I would have never in my life thought that I could ever see this, and that it was built out of bamboo, and that we did it all by ourselves, that there was no, I mean, this thing was engineered flawlessly. And so, Shri, maybe you can jump in and share or not. We put together what Shri and I are really here with you is Global Minga. I look at your Global Peace Tribe, right? Isn't it all about peace? Mm-hmm. So Global Minga was inspired by the fact that Shri and I live here, and we've lived in this beautiful valley now for 6 years. We're the only non-Indigenous community that live here. And we've been completely integrated into our local community. And from the very first day we lived here, we were informed that we would have to volunteer somebody once a month for Minga. And that's when we first learned what was Minga. And it's this thousands-year-old tradition. And in our case, we have an original Incan canal, which is challenging to share because Incan is actually a misnomer. It's really a Kanyari that then the Incan had for 70 years and then became Kanyari again, which is a whole other history. But it runs through our property. And this canal has been continuously running through our property for thousands of years because of the power of indigenous Minga. Because we are allowed to take as much water as we want and need, as long as it free flows into our neighbor's water, so that our neighbor always has as much water as they want and need. And so we as a community come together, our little Pueblo up here, and we maintain this thousands-year-old canal. And when people come here, I take them on our canal tour because it's just insane to watch the history,
beautiful,
right, of service.
Yeah.
So we put together, with your permission, of course, we put together a little 10-minute film whenever might be appropriate to really introduce you to what is Global Peace Tribe? Well, it's really Global Minga. We're down here as your South American partners, you know? And so it's an update that brings you all the way up to what happened yesterday. And you guys would be like the first to see it because we will not be showing the pyramid again until the 22nd, when we have the massive consecration happening at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So we're very excited.
Well, absolutely. So just in a moment, let's play that video and that'll, introduce it. And the word Minga, how do we spell it? And what's the literal translation?
You got it. So I have a little fun thing with it. You know that old song Bingo? B-I-N-G-O. Okay, so it's M-I-N-G-A, M-I-N-G-A, M-I-N-G-A. So that's how we all remember it. We sing it. And so it's M-I-N-G-A. And the literal translation is to love my neighbor.
Beautiful.
Yeah. And we do things. We all come together modeling the consciousness that is being co-created on the planet right now, if we choose to say yes to it. And that is the consciousness that has placed the self aside in favor of the greater good of all, that all deserve to be. We don't have to agree with each other. What matters is that all have the right to be, to come in at that sea of neutrality that begins with, I am here, holding the heart of ascended presence as the sea of neutrality.
Beautiful. I want to read just a couple of comments and then we'll play the video because I love to interact with our audience. And of course, there's been so many of our people writing in where they're coming from geographically from all over, but just a few quick comments. Dorina, who's also in Ecuador, writes, I am grateful. We are grateful. Maximum gratitude and grace to all of us, everyone here today. Our Global Peace Tribe, our universal friends, and beyond. And of course, now we'll say, and our Global Minga. Ayara says, how beautiful that there's a tradition of community caring and responsibility for the water, sharing it. I love that. As it should be and will be as more of us wake up.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agree. I want to share around that we also are very blessed that we acquired the property right across the street from us, where we shepherd a river that is an Amazon tributary, and have been shepherding the work of our dear friend Veda Austin. And that has been a miracle as well with the water. And on the 22nd, Yaku Perez, who was almost our president and very well could be our next president, will be here live for the consecration of the pyramid. And his whole platform is about the water. And he's even bringing his saxophone, because it's going to be one heck of a party.
Wow.
So it's going to be a wild night. If you live here, get here. Go to ShriAnkira.com. You can learn how to get here if you're living here. And if you're not, get online or
Be live
here. We're going to be all over unify.org. We're part of Peace Week. So yeah, we're actually room 1. So if you're part of Peace Week, room 1, Wednesday, the 22nd at 8 p.m. Eastern, the consecration of the pyramid. It's going to be amazing. All the Kenyati are here live, and a tribe that we work with from the Amazon that has not come out of the Amazon will be here. And they're bringing the grandmothers with them and the grandfathers. And for the first time ever, you will all meet them live. And I'm going to cry, because it's like, it's all because of the pyramid. It's just incredible what's happening.
So just the context for everybody. In
Yeah.
essence, really, today is the kickoff of our getting ready for Peace Week.
Yes.
Of course, we've been in the 99 days of global unity. We kicked that off with the Awakening World with Ben Bowler and John and Summer back in June when that all started. We're going to show a little video later today about 99 days of unity, and we're beginning to now come to the conclusion. Peace Week is about to begin. Next Friday night, we're on the Awakening World. We're doing the preview of Peace Week with Ben and John and Summer and many of our friends. I also want to acknowledge what we were just talking about. I want to acknowledge Jess, who makes all things happen. So thank you.
Including the video.
Including video. And Jess, as you were talking about Global Minga, did give us this link. So for people who want to know more about it, when you go to the ShriAnkira.com website, there is this beautiful page all about Global Minga for all humanity. And we'll play with your page, and you'll give us a tour of the page later on in the show. But thank you, Jess, for right away showing us where we can learn more about Global Minga. And that link is in the chat box. All right. What's the video? So just share with us briefly, what do we need to know before we watch this video?
Sure. Well, this video is a way of sharing and helping everyone kind of tune into the beauty that is happening here. Global Minga is an invitation to cooperate, collaborate, and help each other. Here in Ecuador, our focus has been on building some homes for some people who did not have shelter, especially our seniors. Who were basically living in the cold. And I think we
Literally
have some footage on that in this film, a little recap of a couple of houses that our community has built, as well as the pyramid. And the thing on the Pyramid of Peace, this is a 7-story tall pyramid constructed of bamboo as its structure.
Literally a Guinness record holder.
And bajareke, which is like adobe. It's a native mud. So the walls are mud, the structure is bamboo. This form of construction has been around for thousands of years. It is anti-seismic. It's beautiful. It flexes. And
let's just show them the movie. How about that?
Well, okay. And what you're going to see in the pyramid is we haven't finished the mud walls yet.
Remember,
you're going to see the structure.
It's not done yet. And on the 22nd, it will be done beyond what you see here. However, what you really want to do in this moment is relax your heart. Maybe bring your hands to your heart, because every time we bring our hands to our heart, we're really sending an affirmation to our physical body of form that you've got this, that the master is here. We've got this. And as we bring our hands to our heart and we take in that deep, beautiful, nourishing breath in whatever way feels good and yummy, I want you to just relax into this movie, because what this is about more than anything is the energy of what happens when we come together as one, when we say yes because it's just the right thing to do. That's what global Minga is. So sit back, relax, and we'll see you guys on the flip side.
I'll give this.
I've seen it for the first time too, because as Scott said, Jess does everything. We're excited. All right, I'm gonna let my love share.
All right, here we go.
Thousands-year-old indigenous tradition where when someone in the community needs something, everyone volunteers to help get it done. Your kind donations help be part of that Minga. If you are here in person, you can help build, you can help grow, you can help share. We are together creating a worldwide Minga. And this Minga is beginning with your heart, connecting with our heart, connecting with their hearts. Come join us and let us show you. That if there's anything we could do to help make her life more comfortable. Does she need anything more else? And I'm really thinking she's going to tell me material things. And the first words out of her mouth were, please help me have a bathroom. I don't have one. And so thank you all. Remember why we're doing this. And thank you. We are so grateful. I just want to let all of you know that everything we can do, we've just begun. We're getting her house. How can we help them more?
See? Wow. Wow.
Okay. So this is the house that we're now building. And you can see that it's very modern and it's really spacious and it's in a beautiful space. But I want you to look up here. Remember, this is why we're building it. And if you can see there are the chickens, this is why we're building this. And I think it's important to remember that she's still without a bathroom every day this isn't done. And that we need to get her in here fast.
stay with them. Merlin is here as well.
So there was a grand creative act to make kind of the railroad to lift the capstone structure up. And there's a pulley up there and they got it up. Now actually the hard part is next. They have to attach ropes in order to go over and lift the capstone structure on top and let it settle in. So they're readjusting the ropes right now and getting ready for the strong push. Yes. So it's an exciting moment because as this capstone settles in, it helps anchor the focus of the pyramid. The final focus will be when the glass is added. So the glass actually creates the point. This is the structure to which the glass will be attached.
Incredible, absolutely incredible.
Does it stop?
Wow. Wow. I'm going to go to gallery view for a moment where everybody can just do a little twinkling who's got their cameras on. Wow. It's huge. You know, at the end, when we saw these little tiny people inside this, you know, big, it's like you really begin to get a grasp of how big, and also when how high up you are when you were with the elders and he was showing you, but then you look way down into this valley, like way down. So that video really helped us to get an amazing, just a little bit of a homeopathic dose of where you are, right?
So you can feel it. That was the intention, because it's so tangible. You know, Shri and I are so blessed. We have been continually reverse aging since we moved in here, because we wake up every morning smelling pine and eucalyptus infused air. There's zero chemtrails. In our valley, there's no 5G. And so we are just out here. I mean, the sky is so blue. We don't even have air traffic. Every other month, you might get a private helicopter or something fly by. We literally all stop and look up in the sky. We're like, what is that noise? Because it's so pure. And so the gift of the Gaia and the water and the elements here, and the reason we call it Tosa Blue Mountain is because our mountain are these stunning blue stones that have veins of quartz crystal running through them. So people are constantly picking up huge chunks of quartz and taking them home or whatever. So it's really quite an extraordinary energy here.
You know, one thing I'd love to share for a moment on the pyramid is there are layers of recognition at work here. One is that the project has unified tribes of local people who did not communicate much. I mean, had judgments about each other.
Because we have tribes here from the coast, we have tribes here from the Amazon, we have tribes here from the north, and then we have our local tribes. And I mean, we had every ethnic slur, all those conflicts. To yesterday, that film ended. That was what happened yesterday. Tears, hugs, love, living together. It's been really exciting.
So the project brought together people for a common purpose, but what the viewers may not recognize, and this is what I want to share, is that the science of the pyramids has demonstrated that the higher aspect ratio pyramid, more so than the equilateral pyramids of Giza, that the high aspect ratio pyramid radiates a frequency that is codified by David Hawkins on his scales at above 500. And in our case, it'll be at 600 level of consciousness. Now, that level of consciousness is a radiation that invites a response from the environment. Studies have shown that when you put seeds in the pyramid, they germinate faster and they have a 50% growth rate improvement. When water is placed in the pyramid and left overnight and then drunk, gastrointestinal problems decline. In the Ukraine, they have one of these pyramids built on the roof of a hospital because the recovery rates of the people are vastly improved. And when they take IV saline solution and put it in the pyramid and then give it to the patients, they need 50% less pharmaceuticals. That the efficacy.
Imagine that blessing.
Everything I'm sharing with you, and I've got tons more, I'm writing a book on this, is been proven through proper studies, yet it's not mainstream. And so one of our intentions is to demonstrate to the world not only the unity, but the frequency that can benefit humanity. And so we're delighted that you're taking this in and that we can share this with you.
And we really feel that it was the frequency of the pyramid that unified these tribes, because
Yes.
by the time this pyramid we're still not done. They're still working. They'll be working up until the 22nd. I'm confident, but they sing all throughout our valley. You hear the voices of these beautiful beings singing from the top of
Singing
the
and working
pyramid.
together.
We have recordings of it. I wake up in the morning to these people singing at the top of their lungs. Oh, they'll play beautiful harmonious music. And so this pyramid was also built. They get it. And the frequency before it's even finished is insane. So that's the gift of unification in action through the law of instantaneous manifestation, as what you're doing, Global Peace Tribe, Global Minga, coming together outside of anything other than we know this needs to be done for the planet, so we're just going to get it done.
There's some comments coming in from your YouTube channel as people are watching the video and listening about this. Some of the comments coming in from Catherine Calderwood, incredible positive energy. From Solik, my crown is tingling and I see the smiles throughout. The video is so beautiful. Elevated joy. Lorraine Elmo writes, my whole body feels the divine radiance of the pyramid. And then from our Zoom room, Ayada writes, I would love to hear some of those recordings of the people singing as they work on the pyramid. So that's something to think about. And Dia Therese, who's coming down to Ecuador to be with you, she'll be with you on the 22nd, right? The latest engineering wonder of the world, indeed. What a privilege and an honor it is to be a part of this wonder. I am so grateful.
How do we get Architectural Digest? Somebody help me get their attention, because this is emergent architecture at its best. And it was done, as you all saw. We could have brought in a crane. We could have had a crane sit right next to that pyramid, pick up that capstone and put it on, but no. What if we're building a pyramid in the remotest African desert? What if we're building a pyramid somewhere out in the fields of Australia? What if wherever we're building it, we wanted to prove it could be done without any electric modern tools or metal?
This pyramid is constructed without metal.
The engineering alone is worthy of a prize for what these beautiful men did. And it's 100% indigenous project.
And everything was back checked by licensed engineers and architects to make sure that we were meeting the load requirements, considering the winds at that altitude. So all the modern engineering back checked the indigenous wisdom,
right?
And the synergy between the two, because we did make some modifications on some of the joints, and it's perfect. It's wondrous.
They were actually able to solve every problem that was presented.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I haven't had a chance yet for us to acknowledge our mutual friends, John and Summer Raymer, who are, of course, are watching. They've put this out over the Sign Network, and Summer just said that there are 107 different Facebook groups and pages all watching us right now. So thank you, John and Summer and the Sign Network.
This is Global Minga.
And that brings us back to that today is the start of 11 days of global unity. I did do you know Rick Olfek? Do you all know Rick?
Don't know,
Rick
Rick.
is who was the founder of 11 Days of Global Unity.
Oh,
He's currently awaiting, hopefully, to get a heart transplant. He's going through a big physical healing experience. But we did a pre-recorded interview with him last week that we'll play next week. But what he explained is 11 Days of Global Unity has an interesting history. Originally, Peace Day was going to take place. It had been scheduled by the United Nations for September 11th, 2001. And of course, that is when the extraordinary events took place. And so it got postponed to September 21st. And so Rick and Avon Madison and others then created the vision for 11 Days of Global Unity, starting with September 11th, which is today, which of course is a day that it's one of those days that everybody remembers where they were on September 11th, 2001. Just like for some of us who are older, we all remember where we were, when John Kennedy was assassinated, or when Martin Luther King was assassinated. We remember those days. Taking us to September 21st, the International Day of Peace. So today is the kickoff of 11 Days of Global Unity, and how perfect that we get to be with you that are creating this extraordinary peace pyramid that's going to then be launched in conjunction with the International Day of Peace. So I just wanted to give that context to our audience to kind of understand what we're all a part of today, what we're all witnessing. And with that, I wanted to bring in a quote from my mentor, Marshall Rosenberg, and then get your reflection on it. I had the good fortune to travel with Marshall, stay in hotel rooms with him, teach with him, do video projects with him. And my favorite quote from Marshall is that the greatest joy in life is to contribute to the well-being of others. And so we've talked about service a little bit. You've demonstrated through the video, everybody coming together in service. So in the spirit of Marshall, in the spirit of service, I'd love to get your thoughts about how we can create peace in our daily lives, in our world, by being of service.
Yeah. Boy, there's a couple of things that I'd love to share about, but the first one is personal. I too worked with Marshall Rosenberg and helped bring him to Seattle when I was living there. And one of the things, I was a practicing psychologist at the time, one of the things that he brought forward for me that I want to share is the first step is to know what you're feeling. The next step is to get clear on what you're needing. And when we have a clear and present need, we can communicate that, and it's universal because every human being has needs. But if we stay stuck only in the emotional discharge side, we don't move forward as efficiently as we can when we have clarity about our needs. So this kind of feeds our consciousness around Global Minga and being in service, is to look deeply, to see what is needed. How can I support the fulfillment of the positive needs of other beings and of our planet and all the creatures? So that's one critical piece. And it's also important to recognize that Abraham Maslow had codified a hierarchy of needs. And the takeaway here for today is to recognize when we don't have physical shelter, when we don't have clean water and clean air, it's very hard to go into the higher order, more refined needs.
Well, and if I can jump in on that, I really want to give my full heart out to Shelley and Jan, because when we're talking about Peace Week and we look at the wheel that Shelley has put together and the way that those core values, those core needs for all beings can be met, here we are today, and I love the 11, right? Because the one in the system of ascended numerology, in the sacred sequence of incarnation, in the ancient system of the Magi, the 11 is the one, and the one shall always be the one. So today is the day of the sacred mirrors. And so how beautiful that today the one and the one are reflecting one. How we can be of the highest service is when we remember that my eyes are your eyes. My heart is your heart. You know, I literally cannot sleep if my neighbor is starving. And so we did a huge food program during COVID when this village would have starved, not because they didn't have enough of their own food that they were growing, but because the buses had stopped, there were other things that they did not have and were not prepared for. And so it's about that rising momentum of consciousness that says, of course, it's that nature of the ascended presence in form with full conscious awareness now, so that all of our actions are for the highest, that all needs are met. So that was the interjection I wanted to kind of jump in with.
Yeah.
Well, and since we're talking about universal human needs, this is a big part of what I teach through Love Coach Academy. And this is our list of the list of universal human needs, longings. I also enjoy calling them values, desires. Some people have a trouble with the word need because they don't want to be seen as needy. But these are the words that drive us. And as Marshall taught us, everything we do as human beings is an attempt to meet one of these beautiful, precious needs, one of these beautiful longings, one of these beautiful values, desires. So I've put this into the chat box for our friends in the Zoom room, and I'll send it to Jess so she can get it out to everybody watching on your channels and on YouTube.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing those truths, because as we share with each other, we deepen our own understandings and we become more response able.
In all ways, in all ways.
I want to read a couple more comments that are coming in. Dorina, our friend also in Ecuador, writes, another very similar favorite quote of mine. I slept and I dreamed that all life is joy. I woke and I saw that life is all service. I served and I saw that service is joy. And that's from Kahil Gibran.
Yes.
Astaria writes, I am here, I am ready, I am open, guide me, mantra of self-ascension. Of course, beloved had shared with us earlier this morning. Barbara writes, self-love is a sacred responsibility from which we can be of profound service to all sentient beings and Gaia as well. And since we're talking about service, and I love that, and someday privately, I'd love to share Marshall Rosenberg stories with you.
Oh, you two need time together.
We do, definitely, because I traveled with him up to Seattle, and one of the videos we did was on the Freedom Project, which was based out of Seattle. So we'll share stories about all the wonderful people that were.
He was a beautiful being, and his influence is here.
So I want to bring in another beautiful being who was another important mentor in my life, and his name was Grandfather David. Grandfather David was a Hopi Indian elder. He passed quite a while ago. But Grandfather, at the time that he was alive and I had the opportunity to work with him, at that time I was creating television for teenagers. And so I asked him about his thoughts about true values. And he said something very wise that I want to bring into our field today. He said that, sadly, in our current modern day, we are taught through the media that what's the value is money, sex, and power. And those are false values. And we know that those are false values because not everybody can have lots of money or lots of sex or lots of power. He said that true values are service, devotion, and humility. And we know that those are true values because anybody at any age, whether you're 3 years old or 100 years old, you can always be of service to your family, to your friends, to your community. You can always practice devotion to your community, to the divine, and humility to him was again defined as gratitude. That when we are truly humble, we are in gratitude for all that we are blessed to be with. And then his punchline was that when we provide service, the money comes.
Always.
When we are understanding true devotion, that's when the greatest sex in our life can possibly happen, whether it's physical sex or life force flowing through us. And when we are truly humble and grateful is when Great Spirit bestows true power upon us.
Yeah. Aho.
Uh,
I feel that all.
but I just felt inspired to share that today.
Yeah.
Thank you. I
Thank
think
you.
we're all enriched by that blessing.
And that gift of recognition continues
Absolutely.
to serve.
And I'm really feeling that, you know, the blessing of everything that you just shared, it really does go back to that moment of stabilizing our heart in the ascended presence. Because when we stabilize our heart in the ascended presence, what that means is essentially what you just shared, that the first chakra has transited from this constant need for safety, which is also often why money becomes the god of many, because money in this realm is considered to be safety, another illusion of the illusion, right? So when the first chakra can stabilize into peace, it's that peace that knows that the you, the ascended presence of the divine mastery you, has fully anchored into this body and risen through to that moment of awareness that begins the conscious awareness of the experience, thereby continually leading to the choices that invite us all to be in that upward spiral. We're always going to be in the spiral, right? We're never going to mess it up. We're never going to do it wrong because we're always going to be part of the spiral. The gift is that, and this is what makes me smile and certainly gets me going every day. The gift is that right now we're getting to do this. I have been alchemically transforming my body for 4 years and went from literally wheelchair bound cancer diagnosis to the best shape in my life and literally showing reverse aging. I mean, it's really, I haven't shown the pictures yet, but at some point we will. And the only reason I'm using myself as an example is because I'm sitting right in front of you, is that when we say yes, and we let go of all the doubts of our multidimensional presence. And if you don't mind, Shri, would you show them the multidimensional presence graphic? Sure. I just want to point this out because 2023, you know, Sedona Journal, we've been columnists for them for like 15 years now. And so I love Melody. Melody is the best. Sedona Journal, support her. But they forced me to do the predictions ahead of time every year. And in 2023 is going to be the year of the storm. And it's an STORM. It's a storm that will assist us to see the oneness, reclaim mastery. And the way to do that will be to finally let go of the illusion that we are bound by this one potentiality in this one dimension. So if you look here, and we put this out way back when in 2018, because humanity's been up leveling through this, the third dimensional experience that you see there, that angelic experience of the third dimension, that's here for the rich gift of consciousness to remember it has awareness. And so in this third dimensional experience, the best we can ever do is rise up to just being aware of ourselves enough to break free of a hint of self-aggrandizement and being right there with ourselves. But when we relax and we bring compassion, this is the blessing of compassion. When we bring compassion and self-forgiveness to ourselves, when we love ourselves more, and we were talking about this earlier, I think some of the comments were talking about this, that's the fuel that pops you from that third dimensional amnesia into what is the fifth dimension, where you become, as you're seeing here, the witnesser of the witness of the third dimensional self. Now, breathing that in, I do want to take it a step further, because for those of us, you know, Shri and I first started talking about living in the fifth dimension in 2003 at a time when it was so radical. Well, now we're at a moment where the seventh and ninth dimensional frequencies are not only available, I've been anchored there for quite a while, as have Shri, which is why we don't know a lot of people. We live in our beautiful bubble. And so when you look at the seventh dimension, you have to stand up. And that's where humanity is at right now. In order to move into our next evolution, the fifth dimensional witnesser has actually evolved through the fear frequencies into an erosion of energy that is supported by an egocentric fourth dimension. So what this has done, the gift of this, is that we have this whole new experience, right? We have this incredible experience of spiritual arrogance that has never been before. And people don't know how to deal with it because we've never co-created it before, because we've never gotten as far to do it. So the gift of spiritual arrogance is that it's here for those that are ready, for those that are saying, you know what? I know I'm here for the leading edge of consciousness. I know that there's more. I know that I'm tired of hearing the same old stuff regurgitated to me over and over again. So we are at a moment, my loves, where we've gone beyond even the original I am discourses, which is why we have been retranslating them for 4 years. We are at a moment where, just read them. It's outdated languaging, it's outdated energy, yet everyone is so attached to what was. Someone has to stand up and say, are you ready to grow beyond? Because that's what it's going to take. And that's why we built the pyramid. Because activism will only create more fear, more anger. It will only ever be this, right? It's just going to be somebody's got to be right. Rather than I am here in the sea of neutrality and together we're better. There's room for everyone. Come on, let's face it. What is the greatest illusion of all? Competition. It was done just to keep us separate. Jealousy. What the heck is that? Celebrate your neighbor, right? In the words of Rev Ike, my mentor, who I adore with all my heart and soul, Rev Ike would look at you and say, hey, if your neighbor has something that you want, that's for me. That's for me. How about the world that we're all talking about? We just stop talking and start doing. And so that's what Shri and I are all about. And forgive my little moment, but it's a moment where the witness of the ninth dimension that calls in the full presence of your ascended being while in form, it is possible. You just have to let go of the illusion that your ego is trying to hold on to because it feels comfy. That's where humanity's at, and 2023 is here, and that's why Peace Week. I want to go back to Ben Bowler, who I love with all my heart and soul, and John and Summer and all the work that you all do. I love their magic bus, right? Because we are the magic bus.
Magic canoe. It's the magic
canoe. Thank you.
Magic bus is the Who.
I know, and that tells you where I'm at. We're from the same generation, dude.
Been there, danced that.
We're dancing that one. And so this is a moment to dance our new reality into creation outside of this ridiculous need to try and recreate the old with some special languaging that makes this spiritualized arrogance feel good. We are at a moment, and here's the good news, right? We're either going to implode, right? We're either going to just start over and we'll get it done again. But the gift is that this time, in this moment right now, Shri and I went into self-imposed isolation for 12 years. We left the United States in 2010 because we saw it coming. And we put out all of the predictions. We put out the 7 years of ascension. Go look at it, the whole chart, every single thing came true. And all we're sharing with you is that how lucky are all of we that we get to be here now to dance this gift. We have a real opportunity to do this. And all we have to do is just keep saying yes, especially when the ego starts screaming, right? I've spent, Scott, I don't know if you're aware of this, but the past 2 weeks, I've been really in deep reflective meditation and pulling through the 2023 revelations and a lot of other things that have come forward and a lot of information that I'm still dealing with. But what came forward the most was that today was my little coming out party with you.
Oh.
And so I want you to know that that's part of why I'm kind of like full right now. And so thank you for the honor, because I was breathing with Shri during that beautiful music that I was shaking because I haven't even done our show. I mean, I have been 100% out of the public for 2 weeks. So I feel that this is more than just a moment. I think that we have a real opportunity to invite really positive momentum outside of that which has been, right? Offering each other the safety, right? The safety to say, you know what? I'm not alone. I'm not crazy. I know there's more. And I know that together we are better. And now, how can I breathe that into my being, literally reanimate my body, which I did, and live in the full conscious awareness of our conscious mastery in form now without any doubt? Because we have that opportunity before us. And how exciting is that?
So I'd love to ask everybody who's watching, whether you're watching on YouTube or Facebook or in our Zoom room, just take a moment, let's slow down for a moment and recognize that she is representing in this moment an experience for us all. How can this beautiful reflection of her coming out with so much excitement, with so much passion, with so much beautiful love, energy flowing through her after being in a state of contraction, a state of inner, and now coming out? How is that reflecting for each and every one of you? How do you relate to maybe a period that you've been deeply inside and now coming out with new awareness, with new life, with new passion, with new belief in what's possible on the macro for humanity, and what's possible on the micro for each and every one of us, each and every one of you as individuals, however that shows up in your life, whatever that might mean. A new opportunity, a new job opportunity, a new relationship opportunity, a new understanding of who you are truly in this awakening world. And thank you, Kira. I love how she's lovingly nudging her partner. I love that. And how beautiful you two are as a model of partnership.
Thank you.
I just want to say it's a blessing to see couples such as yourself that are both beautiful individuals, but also seeing how you come together in partnership and what you create. It's very, very beautiful.
Thank you. It's been the best 20 years of my life and going.
Yes. Thank you, Scott.
I'm so grateful for your wisdom. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt that. It was like, okay, she's giving us a beautiful opportunity to keep, again, and that's the key. We always have to keep bringing it back to ourselves. What is this representing to me right now? What is she reflecting to me, right? What is this teaching me about myself? Whatever thoughts I might be having, whatever feelings I'm having, whatever needs are happening, what is being invoked by this passionate energy that we get to witness with you today? Yeah.
And I just want to underscore that when we ask these self-inquiries, when we bring attention to what we are participating with, we become awake to a higher order of discernment, a higher opportunity, because there's an irony at work in civilization. At one level, everyone is awake, but it's what they're awake to that is the issue. Are you awake to the strife? Are you awake to struggle or competition or whatever frequency you want to talk about? Or are we awake to the emergent beauty of our souls in this evolutionary process? Are we awake to the unity? Are we awake to the potential for ever more joy? What are we awake to?
You know, I love that. And it's, where are we putting our attention? Reverend Michael Beckwith is a regular on The Awakening World. In fact, he'll be on September 24th. Yeah. And one of the things that I learned from Michael, who I've had the blessing to know for 35 years, is for us to make choices that are the movement of our wise heart, as opposed to a reaction from our mind. Like there's the world happening out there that we can react to, or there is being in tune like you do, going deep into meditation, going into practice, and we get in tune with aligning our wise heart with our higher self, our God self, whatever you want to call it, being in the flow. And then it's what I want to do. I want to create a sustainable environment, as opposed to an angry activist reaction against those terrible corporations, right? Right. So it's like keep finding the movement toward the longing, because when we're listening to our wise heart, when we're in alignment with our higher self, we know what to do. We know what to do.
Yes.
And it's really easy.
And sometimes that doing is to relax, is to meditate, is to take time off, is to slow down, right? That's what we need to do sometimes. I want to read a few comments that have come in. Beautiful, beloved Jess, who's providing comments from the YouTube channel. Leslie Watts writes, I love you. Yvonne writes, much love and appreciation for Master Lady Kira Ra. Diana Sidek, I love you, Kira. Endok, all ways that you are the beacon of light. Thank you, Master Lady Kira Ra. Ashara Ra, Scott, thank you for the invitation to look in the soul mirror. Master Lady Kira Ra is presenting so much powerful, so much love right now. Susan Bloomquist in our Zoom room says she has so much to give. Astoria writes, Master Leader, I'm just say MLKR, that is
Easier.
the acronym. MLKR teaches steadfast commitment, focused awareness, and complete trust. Ayada writes, I'm feeling both inspired for the path ahead and validated for the path I'm already on. Jess writes, deep bow before Master Lady Kira Ra and wisdom teacher Sri Ramka. George Noble says, exactly, Ayada, me too. Astoria, yes, indeed, Jess, a big bow of namaste. So we are all deeply bowing. Dorina writes, thank you again, Scott, Sri, Kira, Dia, and everyone else. It is so inspiring to see such a renaissance in using good, old, ancient techniques of building such as bamboo and mud. Aircrete, hempcrete, and even mushrooms and mycelium, while
Yes.
part of this global mingus.
Yes, and yes.
Dia writes, divine orchestration made manifest, my being given the gift of two of my most precious communities, Sri and Kira, and Scott Thomason of the Awakening World coming together today. So beautiful. So thank you. And George, thank you. George humbly writes, I confess to having some of that angry activist energy in me. Pre-verbal rage, only recently realized. Thank you, George. How perfectly human. How perfectly human. And finally, Nitya writes, thank you for your gifts so much. I feel the Minga.
Thank you.
I am so full and happy to be participating in these shared expressions, because each of us is a mirror, each of us is magnified. And what a wonderful gift. Thank you, everyone.
We are just so honored and humbled and grateful. It's just such a gift to be with you all. It just feels like family.
Absolutely. All right, so this is where I would love to really let the people who aren't familiar with the two of you, where they can learn more about your ascension tips. And of course, I know we're going to start by going to your website, which is simple. It's their names, shriandkira.com, shriandkira.com. But while we're here, please direct me. What would you like for our audience to know of or to be aware of on your website?
Well, if you want to scroll, that's the homepage. What the first thing I would share is that if you're open on Monday nights, if you keep scrolling, let's see, upcoming events, there we are. We're already talking about Global Mingo. We have been doing a Facebook every night right now as part of the countdown to Peace Week as well. So if you want to catch up with that or just check in on that, you can find out there. September Equinox, if you're already part of Peace Week, you're going to get all of that, or otherwise, please check out what we're doing. But right there where it talks about Mastery Presence Monday, the yoga of self-ascension, happens to be tomorrow night. And so if you want to join us, please learn more about that. Mastery Presence Mondays is where we come together and dive deep. We go into deep exploration, and it is a very powerful process that we do, and we come together as community. We are with each other. It is a Zoom experience, and you can come in for as little as I think $1 donation, or maybe, I don't know, maybe it's 50 cents. I don't know. But we would love to have you all. Remember, Sri and I are actually ministers, so 100% of our donations feed Global Minga. That's how that
that's how
pyramid
we
got
built
built.
those houses.
That's how those houses get built. That's how it all gets done. So that would be the first thing I would share, is maybe you want to join us in Mastery Mondays. And of course, to remember that if you want to join us at Tosa Blue Mountain, the other website I would invite you to bring up is simply tosabluemountain.com.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm signing up right now. I just want to.
Thank you. That's so kind of you. Thank you.
So it's tomorrow, Monday, September 12th at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific, because a lot of us are here with on Pacific time. And so
Yes.
I'm adding it to my chart, processing it. There we go. Double click.
Thank you.
Go. Hopefully that's working out. Well, it's not letting me double click because I'm on a big computer, but I'll go back and deal with it.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Don't show everyone your
Don't want to see
card.
your credit. And,
That happened once because I tried to do that. Like I donate to our, musicians as we're doing it, and my credit card flashed. And so anyway,
And all of YouTube has it.
well, thank you. Thank you so kindly. I'm very, very grateful.
Yeah, these Mondays gatherings are really magical and wonderful, and we explore teachings, and we talk, and we share, and
we
it's
receive.
always lifting.
It's pretty incredible. That's where we were going through the I Am discourses last year, is every Monday night. And we were also preserving as many of the original copies of the books, and we were all buying them and preserving them and getting them into a central library so that these original editions could be preserved for posterity. And so we were doing that about 2 years ago. I wanted to share though, Scott, that Tosa Blue Mountain, and I really do encourage all of you to go visit tosabluemountain.com. because the magic of this mountain is so, you were feeling just some of it in the video. This valley, I honestly feel this is Shangri-La in many ways. It certainly has a fountain of youth. Most of the elders here are walking 4 to 5 kilometers in the mountain to come to our free clinic. I'm talking both ways, and these are people that are in their 90s. There we are. So this is where we live. This is where we're broadcasting to you. There's our view right there. Just took that picture.
Wow, thank you, Jess.
Yeah, really, she's quite extraordinary. And so, please, we are, I often get silly questions like, do you have hot water? We are literally a 5-star, legally 5-star, government approved, all of that. We are vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free, raw, diabetic friendly. We are an original 200-year-old hacienda. We have an incredible water therapy center and a lot of other things, including a pyramid of peace and 3 labyrinths on site. And thanks to one of our community members, Midge. Hey, Midge. Midge just got us listed with the International Registry of Labyrinths. And so coming in May, we're going to be doing some special events. So we have a big New Year's event that we always do as a group, or you can bring your own group. But I would encourage you to learn more about Tosa Blue Mountain because it's pretty amazing here, and our food is pretty outrageously delicious as well.
It's fantastic.
It is. And if you come overnight, all your food's included. It's all inclusive. Plus, we have 3.5 kilometers of groomed trails on site. Plus the archaeological site, which could be a whole other show, because when we finally get enough people here to document it, we've discovered a temple that we're thinking is roughly 1 million years old up there. We have all types of beautiful on-site archaeological yummies, including we're putting together literally, like I'm going to call it probably the Indiana Jones, where you can come and help us excavate, because we've got so much we're clearing and discovering that it's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it's wonderful to be living in what was the heartland of creation for humanity.
It's incredible.
One of the seeding points on the planet for human beings.
And we're so blessed that right above us in our little village, we're able to get you on these most beautiful horses where nobody goes. And they are allowing us to take you on horseback up to these, up to the archaeological, the outer rims here. And so there's just so much, like you come here, you really don't have to leave. Plus we're 45 minutes from Cuenca, and Cuenca is, if you haven't been to Cuenca, it's one of the most beautiful UNESCO heritage cities I think I've ever had the blessing of living there. So just inviting you to consider Ecuador in the future. Or to
you have family here. Come be with us.
There's always family waiting for you, Scott. You know that.
I'm feeling that call. I genuinely are. You know, we actually are having our very first Global Peace Tribe retreat in Sedona. It's going to be this October. And so that's our very first Global Peace Tribe retreat. But as you've been sharing, I've been thinking, oh my God, wouldn't it be wonderful for us to organize in advance, of course, a Global Peace Tribe retreat coming to Blue Mountain.
And we can use the pyramid, you know, and the labyrinth.
So many opportunities.
Plus, remember, we have an incredible yoga dance studio. That was one of the other things, is that when I was 19, I lost my career as a professional ballerina when I broke my ankle. And at 61 years old, I got back on toe shoes.
Wow.
So my beautiful husband built me this we have this amazing yoga dance studio with a view that's to die for. And if you want ballet lessons, we can do that too. So.
Oh my gosh. Well, what?
All the joy.
Right.
To be with you. I want to come. Question.
Please.
I'm a big part of the Pachamama Alliance. Lynn Twist is a regular on the Awakening World. How close are you to that, to where the Pachamama Alliance does their retreats and where they work with their Native Indigenous people?
I think they're in Vilcabamba, which is about a 4-hour trip from where we are.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, it's
yeah.
very doable. And what's
and
nice,
gorgeous.
when we say 4 hours, but it's 4 hours of enchantment.
I mean, you're driving
The
through
drive
these fountains and the people and the animals, and then it winds up being 5 hours because you're stopping to take pictures, and it's crazy.
8 hours. We're gonna have lots of pictures.
Most likely. Plus, remember that Sri and I are very blessed that there are several sites here in Ecuador that we have exclusive use of the museums, because I've been very blessed to have learned most of the culture. And so there are several places we can take people to that are very private, that no one goes to, that carry energy that's pretty extraordinary. There's a lot of magic here at the middle of the world. There really is. Yeah.
Well, it's been beautiful. Let's do this much sooner. I'd like to have more frequent. This was bringing our communities together. It's just been beautiful. And just a reminder, everybody, please, let's all meet again tomorrow night. Let's all connect on Sri and Kira's event. I'll be there. I think I'm free tomorrow night at that time. So I'm going to put it in my calendar and I'll be there. And a reminder, everybody, to really participate in Peace Week. And there are a lot of ways to do it. I want to encourage everybody right now, go to peaceweek.org. That's a good way to start. You can register to attend. It's all free. There's all these amazing free events that are happening. And again, in honoring our beloved brother, John Raymer, John has just done amazing work along with his part. Talk about a couple. I love John and Summer. They're one of my favorite couples too. And they've set up this Mighty Networks opportunity for us to connect. And that's Peace Through Unity.Earth. So joining Peace Through Unity.Earth is a wonderful community and a wonderful way for us to learn about all the different things that are going to be going on. Of course, obviously all that Sri and Kira are doing. And there's just so many different events. So this next 10 days is an incredible time for us to come together in community, come together and collaborate. next weekend on the Awakening World. On Friday night, it'll be John and Summer and Ben and Becky and a lot of the people putting all this together, doing the whole preview of Peace Week. Then on Saturday night, we've got Jude Currivan, who has just launched this incredible unitive narrative, really helping us to all understand that we are Gaians. We are all children of Mother Earth, children of Gaia. And so she's our keynote speaker, but then we've got Gary Malkin playing music and always Omashar playing music, and several other wonderful teachers. So lots going on next weekend on the Awakening World. And we always in the beginning, we begin with Omashar and we like to close with music. So we're going to go to our beautiful beloved brother, Omashar. Omashar, what stands out from this amazing morning so far?
Everything. I have spent a lot of time in South America and done a lot of work with 2 or 3 different groups down there. And I have some good friends in Peru who I'll be going to visit for another conference after the Sedona retreat. And they live very similar to you in that they have the Minga agreement and they go and help the community once a month. And they have water running through the land, and the same agreement is like, wow, this is just deja vu. And I feel so at home with you, with us today. And yes, with a Global Peace Tribe retreat down in Ecuador, that would be phenomenal. It'll, there'll be no return. I mean, there is no return anyway. We're on this journey. No down, no return. And there's no words to express the gratitude and love that I feel now in our presence. I would direct it at you, but I'm going to direct it inside to us because, right, there it is. And I'm going to play this song. It is called Completely Free, and it speaks for itself, and we'll have a little moment after it's completed. So thank you both so much, and thank you all of the hands that have brought this feast for us together to perceive and all of that yummy stuff. So I'm going to press.
Reminder to everybody, turn on your cameras. Jeffrey Colebrook will lead the way. He and Karen Eisenberg are usually our dance masters. Turn on your cameras, dance, move, groove to the music. It's beautiful to see everybody.
All right. It's not a dance number, it's a deeper number.
I have been waiting for so long, and yes, I have faltered. Flickering faith I've had in you. Whoa. Now that I see the greater plan, I know you've been watching, silently present, cheering me on. Through my pain I've grown so strong, and though my heart's been broken and friendships they have crumbled, I do it all again. And yes, I did it all for you. I knew that you'd come through. door inside my heart. There is a radiant presence telling me this is where I start. Whoa, shining lights, please lead me home, for I know you never left me, and that I have never walked alone. And now I am ready for your essence to be fully merged with my life, and I'm ready for the changes that are required of me to be completely free. With your light I can see. La 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 la. Deep breath.
Oh, that was beautiful. Just perfect. Absolutely.
Completely free.
Let me bring Sri and Kira back up. I want to alert people to a couple things. It turns out that our beloved Omashar is going to be playing some songs at this conference, the End of Seeking conference. I've put the link into the chat box. And when will you be playing?
I'll be playing 3 15-minute mini concerts Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and I arranged the time so that I'd still be able to be with the Awakening World. And it's a bi-yearly event by something called the Pure Presence Conferences, and it grew out of the Course in Miracles, and it's the next higher level iteration, I would say, of that. And just check it out. It's got some amazing speakers on it, and of course it's always free. And I have 3 concerts in the middle of the US day, 15-minute concerts. It'll be great. It'll be fun. Thank you. You're muted, young man.
Put that in the chat box.
Thanks.
So definitely. And again, one more time, I just want to remind everybody, let's all meet up tomorrow night. Let's continue this wonderful weekend. It's been an amazing weekend of shows. Let's continue by all meeting up tomorrow night. If you go to sriandkira.com and then go down to the Ignite Your Mastery tomorrow night, that's at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific. I will be there, and I hope to see all of you then. And bringing back one more time this beautiful, beloved, beautiful, beautiful couple. Thank you for helping us in our journey to ascension, our journey of awakening. And you truly are not quite so unsung now, but you're heroes creating a new paradigm. And you really are doing it. And you're doing it in a beautiful way. And I really do envision that next year in 2023, coming to Ecuador and visiting you. I get that that's going to happen. So looking forward to that. And we will connect long before then. And thank you, Jess, for making it all happen. In the beginning, there was Jess, and it was good. Thank you, John and Summer. And I always like to close by going to gallery view so we can, everybody can wave goodbye. Turn on your cameras, everybody. Twinkle.
We love you.
We love you. Thank you for being. Stay the course.